Well, cuckolds. I'm a little bit sad that all these people got released. It's very sad. People lost their jobs. But guess what, motherfuckers? We gotta move on, and now we gotta talk about other people that probably deserve to be released. So this brings us to this year's, or at least this season's, hater season -1, motherfucks, to this season's AEW roster review. Let's see who deserves to be fired and who deserves to stick around. First of all, I am on the AEW roster page, and there's 4 titles that are profiled here. Oh, never mind. I scrolled down. There's 8 titles that are profiled here. That makes a lot of sense. So, some of these titles are like multi-man titles, right? So, if you count the people here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 champions. So, there's 11 champions out of I know AEW has like an enormous roster that they never use, but that is how it is. But it's like there's so many titles. Like we have like the international champion, the TNT champion, the continental champion. It's like, how do these fucks rank? You know what I'm saying? I get like Edge is like, if you go from the order of like most important to least important, which just seems to be what they're doing, like it's like Edge is like number 5 or number 6. So whatever, let's get to it. All right, we're gonna start talking. AW roster review, and we're gonna start straight up with Aaron Solo. I had no fucking clue this guy was still around. I don't think he's been on TV for like 25 years. I think he's been on TV like one time his whole career, so it is what it is. But Aaron Solo, I mean, again, when the hater does these things, the hater has to be reasonable, right? It's like Aaron Solo, the poor bastard, has never gotten a chance, right? So to say that we need to fire Aaron Solo is just unfair. He's never gotten a chance. Like, he deserves a chance, right? But he's also boring. The few times I've seen him, so he needs to bounce. Action Andretti. I have no idea who the fuck that is. I heard the name like 2 or 3 times, and then I don't think I ever saw him wrestle. So I'd say give him a chance. But if they already have given him a chance, he can bounce. He can get wrecked. Then we've got Adam Cole. Adam Cole, who has wrestled 0 matches this year, despite the fact that it's fucking April, right? Adam Cole has wrestled a total of, let's see here, 44 matches in AEW, right? Edge, who is the next guy, Adam Copeland, has wrestled like 18, right? And Edge has been around for like less than a year, I think. So think about that for a second, Cucks. Adam Cole, I mean, Adam Cole is a name, but let's be real. This guy has never drawn a dime. And quite frankly, like, he's responsible for like this shit reign that Samoa Joe had. And in my opinion, he's responsible also for Swerve becoming a champion because he got injured. It should have been his time. But let's be honest, if you had to pick between Adam Cole and Swerve, I think all of us would pick Swerve, right? I don't even like Swerve Strickland, but it's like he's better than Adam Cole at least, right? But whatever. So Adam Cole, I say, get the fuck out of here. Edge, obviously you have to keep Edge. He's one of the only reasons why anyone would ever watch this company, right? Then you've got Hangman Adam Page. That's 3 Adams now they got. They got Adam Cole, Adam Copeland, and Adam Page. You really only need one, and the one you need is Edge, right? Hangman Adam Page is 4-2-1 in 2024, so he's wrestled fewer matches than Edge. If you've wrestled fewer matches than Edge and you're like in your early to mid 30s, shame on you. You need to get the fuck out of here. So far, everyone needs to be released except for Edge. Let's keep going. Man, it's going to take a long time because I'm just looking at the A's, and there's a lot of A's up in this bitch. So, next up, we have Alex Reynolds, who I had no idea if he's still there or not. He needs to go. He's not good enough. He needs to go. Next up, we have Angelico, who apparently also is still there. Man, Jesus Christ, it's like none of these fucks ever get on TV. He needs to bounce. He's not entertaining. There was a time when he was kind of fun, but the whole tall and lanky Chris Sabin looking thing doesn't work. Then we've got Cool Hand Angelo Parker. He needs to go. He's just a jobber. Whatever the fuck they're called now, him and the other guy, Matt Menard, they're not entertaining. You know what I mean? They could have been, but they just weren't. They had their chance and they need to go. Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. Obviously, you got to keep Anthony Bowens. He's one of the more entertaining guys in this roster. Obviously, Max Caster is the more entertaining one in terms of the promos. But Anthony Bowens, I think he is the funnier of the two. I think he has better comedic timing, and I think he really adds a lot to the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed from day one of AEW have been one of my favorite tag teams in the world. Then we got the governor, Anthony Ogogo, who apparently is still employed. And this guy is 25-1. He has one loss, and the loss is against Cody Rhodes. But who cares? He's undefeated. Why doesn't he get a title shot, right? The answer is he's a jobber, motherfuckers. He is a jobber. So he needs to go because it's like you've been around for all this time. You're undefeated, yet you've never gotten a push. You suck. AR Fox, who I've heard of before. I've heard of him in the Indies. I actually like AR Fox, but I didn't even know he was in this company. Like, I've never seen him on AEW. So, whatever. I like AR Fox, so we got to keep AR Fox. Ari Davari, which is Davari's little brother, he needs to go. This guy's never drawn a dime. This guy will never draw a dime. Then we've got a unified world trios champion, Austin Gunn. Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn are both great, right? In my opinion, WWE, now that Triple H, quote unquote, is in charge, what they need to do is they need to bring the Guns and have them be managed by Billy. It's as simple as that. Maybe have like a one-off where Billy has a match, right? This is like obviously going to happen. There's absolutely no doubt that the Guns are going to get signed by WWE because they're actually entertaining and they're talented, you know? And like, I think the other one, he's been wrestling only for a few years and he's fucking great, you know? Then we got Bandito. I have no idea who this guy is. It's just some luchador. Get rid of him. Big Bill, right? Also known as Colin Cassidy from back in the day. You got to keep Big Bill. The fact that this guy's record is 19 wins and 20 losses, right? While someone like fucking, you know, Adam Cole has 34 wins and 9 losses is just absurd. Like, Big Bill would probably beat up everybody in this roster. Then we've got daddy ass Billy Gunn. You know, obviously you got to keep Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is 78 wins and 17 losses in this company. Like, Billy Gunn is one of the hardest working men in the history of AEW. But I will say this, Billy Gunn does get TV time, and I'm a big Billy Gunn fan. I always have been since back in the day, so I'm happy for Billy Gunn. I hope he sticks around as long as he wants. Then we've got Bishop Khan from the Mogul Embassy. I don't know this guy, but I've seen him make a few entrances, and he's ripped. So I say give this guy a chance, even though he's got a huge losing record. Then we got Brandon Cutler, who apparently is still around. Fuck it, why not? Why not release him? He's not drawing a dime. Then we got Brian Cage. Now, I'm going to be honest. They need to release Brian Cage. Brian Cage has a winning record, but he doesn't do anything. In other words, they're just wasting him. Brian Cage should be in WWE, or Brian Cage should have like a rematch with Tessa Blanchard and just completely bury her, right, to get back his manhood up in his bitch. And then that way he can maybe go and feud with Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs for the world title. That's where he belongs. Next up, we have Brody King from the House of Black. I like this guy. I actually do. I like him a lot. I find him like to be very menacing looking, right? I think that a lot of like what Luke Harper and Eric Rowan tried to capture with the White family, this guy does capture it. Like, he just looks like he's like big, tattooed, and like, you know, obviously like one of these like goth type dudes, but like he looks menacing. You know what I mean? He looks like he can kick your ass. So I like him a lot. Daniel Bryan. I mean, Daniel Bryan is 69, 18, and 3 in this company. And I mean, has he ever had a title shot? Like, who the fuck gives a shit about this guy, right? Then we got someone named Bounty Hunter Brian Keith. I've heard of this guy. I've heard that he's like a really fun wrestler, but he's like 1-13 in AEW, so he can go fuck himself, get released. He is like this. He's kind of, okay, I think he's just squinting his eyes. It looks like his eyes were like rolled back like the Undertaker. Maybe it's because he's wearing an Undertaker-esque hat, but I guess he's going for this like black bounty hunter, like Django style gimmick. And that's pretty creative. So I say keep him around, cucks. I changed my mind up in this bitch. Then we got Buddy Matthews from the House of Black. Buddy Matthews is like, I mean, if you took the concept of zero personality and you turn it into a person, it would be Buddy Matthews. This guy's boring as hell. He's never been entertaining. Then we've got Cash Wheeler from FTR. Now, you got to keep FTR because the people love FTR, so we're going to keep FTR. Then we got Jericho, who's now the FTW champion. I mean, you know, it goes without saying that you got to keep Jericho. Jericho is that dude. Like, I mean, he is still, in my opinion, the number one guy in this company. Definitely, historically speaking, he's the best this company's ever had. Except for maybe Sting, which doesn't count, right? But the second best, of course, is my personal hero in life, Christian Cage, the patriarch, right? One thing that's disappointing, though, is Christian is 26-16 in AEW. That means he's only had 42 matches, right? It's like, what the hell is that all about? You know what I mean? Like, who is he, Cody Rhodes? No, wrestle some more, Christian. Like, Christian's entertaining. Then we got Christopher Daniels. I mean, you just keep Christopher Daniels because he's Christopher Daniels, but let's be real. I mean, he's like 100 years old now, and like he's never on TV. Then we got the Kentucky gentleman, Chuck Taylor. I don't care. Him and Trent Beretta have been mainstays since day one, but I don't care. But just to reward them for their loyalty, you got to keep them, right? Then we got Claudio Castagnoli, who, despite not being in the company that long of a time, I mean, compared to some others, has already had like 80 matches. So Claudio's a beast. You got to keep him just because, like, for AEW, he's good. For WWE, he's boring, but for AEW, he's good. Apparently, Colt Cabana is still employed by this company. I don't know why. Colt Cabana fucking sucks. I never understood what the point was of Colt Cabana. Just some asshole, some like weirdly shaped asshole with zero aesthetic appeal. That's another thing, just like I said about Obafemi, right? It's like you have to have some aesthetic appeal. Like, I'm not saying everyone has to look like, Randy Orton or Roman Reigns, but you gotta at minimum look normal. Like, Colt Cabana just looks like a cuck. Like, he's always, every picture has his mouth open, right? And he's just a dork, so get rid of this guy. Then we got Colton Gunn from the Gun Club. And as you can see, motherfucks, this video's been going on for a minute now. I've been talking nonstop up in this bitch for about 10 minutes, I would imagine, right? And we're still on the C's. So we might have to do this in a two-parter. But anyways, Colton Gunn, obviously the same way that you keep the other gun, you keep Colton Gunn. Danhausen somehow has had 21 matches in this company, but I don't know why they're paying him. He needs to go. Daniel Garcia, in my opinion, is like the epitome of never will be a star. So just get rid of him. Then we have Dante Martin from Top Flight, who was like 21-0 like during the pandemic, but now he's just a jobber. They have a picture of him here. His hairline starts like at the top of his head, and he's doing this ridiculous like wings gesture with his hands. It's like Top Flight is stupid. It's a stupid name, and they're a stupid tag team. Darby Allin is definitely a mainstay. He's one of the guys that special the most for this company, but despite that, Darby Allin needs to go. Not needs to get fired because he sucks, but he's one of the few people that I think WWE are eventually going to sign. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, I'm telling you, I've been right about everything so far. Like, WWE is going to sign the, like I said, back in the day, I said the number one guy that WWE is going to sign is going to be like Brian Pillman Jr. Like, and that's exactly what happened, right? The Guns are going to get signed. Darby's going to get signed. So that's awesome. Darby Allin has had a whopping 112 victories in this company. So take that, cucks. Then we got Darius Martin, who's the other jobber from Top Flight. This guy is just a complete jobber. He's like worse than the other one, so get rid of him. Dax Harwood is still here. Okay, gotta keep him. Then we got someone called Dralistico. I don't care at all. He's just another jobber, luchador, get rid of him. Then we got Dustin Rhodes, who apparently only has had 65 matches during his tenure with AEW. Interesting. You would expect there to be more matches, but whatever. Then we have someone named Dutch from The Righteous. I have no idea who the fuck that is, but he looks like a fat neckbeard, so get rid of him. Eddie Kingston, who also is a workhorse in this company, but he sucks. He needs to go. Then we've got all ego Ethan Page. He needs to go immediately. It just didn't work out. I'm sorry, kid. That's going to be like a theme here. It didn't work out. You tried. You're not good enough. Then we got Evil Uno, who hasn't been in TV for about 3 years. He needs to go too. Simple as that. Griff Garrison is still here. Who knew? Keep him. I think WWE is going to sign this guy one day. Hook. Generally speaking, I like Hook, but it's getting a little bit annoying because it's like he's having competitive matches with Jericho. And even though I like Hook, Hook needs to be a jobber. You know what I'm saying? He's not big enough, like in terms of both his name nor his size, to be wrestling people like Jericho. But I like Hook. You got to keep Hook. Hook is also going to get signed by WWE. There's no doubt about it. Then we got Brother Zay, Isaiah Cassidy. Contrary to popular belief, I enjoy Private Party. So I say keep these motherfuckers. Jack Perry, the scapegoat, Jack Perry. I like Jack Perry now that he stood up to CM Punk. Otherwise, obviously, Jack Perry's a complete jobber and has no reason to be here. Then we've got Jake Hager, who somehow has a losing record in this company, even though he would beat up everybody here. Jake Hager, he needs to go. He's just boring. It's as simple as that. Jay Lethal also has basically a losing record. He has a 50-50 record. I think he has a few more wins, but Jay Lethal, you got to keep Jay Lethal. You can't just get rid of Jay Lethal. He's great, right? Jay White needs to go. He's just a jobber. Jeff Hardy, I'm surprised he's still here. Jeff Hardy is, I think, going to bounce and head back to the E, right? Then we got Jeff Jarrett. You got to keep Jeff Jarrett. He's fucking great. How can you hate Jeff Jarrett at this point, right? Then we got John Silver, who needs to be pushed. He should have been pushed years ago, but a push now will suffice. Then we've got Johnny TV, also known as John Morrison. John Morrison should be a mainstay, and he should be a main eventer in this company. But they're too dumb to understand what they have on their hands. Instead, they push John Moxley, who's now the IWGP Japan champion, or whatever the fuck, right? John Moxley is like 137 wins, so you can say what you want about him, but the facts are the facts. This guy wrestles a lot, right? Then we got Jose the assistant. I don't give a shit. We have the technical beast, Josh Woods. I mean, this guy looks like big. I think he's got some gyno, but like he looks like a big guy, but quite frankly, I don't know who he is. So it's like I can't really like this guy because how can I? There's nothing to like, right? It's like he just looks like a big guy. You have a million of these. Then we got Rock Hard Juice Robinson. He needs to be released. Juice Robinson just isn't good. I'm sorry. Then we got the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata. I like Shibata. I always have, and I like his little cell phone gimmick thing where he just like talks to the cell phone. Then we got AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, who apparently already has one loss. Right, he's 6-4 in AEW, really, but that's because he also wrestled back in the day. When he was like just part of New Japan. Then we got Keith Lee. Keith Lee just didn't work out. He needs to go. Kenny Omega, he hasn't wrestled in like 2 or 3 years. But he is like their number one guy. Then we got Killswitch from the Patriarchy, also known as Luchasaurus. They need to get the mask off this guy. It needs to just be like whatever the fuck his name is. He needs to be like a normal person. He's had 3 matches this year. So I don't know what the point of having him around is. Then we got super bad Kip Sabian, who in my opinion should be released immediately. Then we have Commander. Commander is a luchador, but he's very athletic, so I say keep Commander. Then we got Konosuke Takeshita, who has been growing on me, so I say keep this motherfucker. Kota Ibushi apparently is part of the roster. He needs to go. He's 2-2. Like, he's not really part of the roster. Then we got the ROH TV champion Kyle Fletcher. He's part of both Aussie Open and Don Callis family. He needs to go. Kyle O'Reilly, also known as Cuck O'Reilly, needs to go. He's never drawn a dime. Then we got Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster. He needs to go. It just didn't work out for him, Cucks. Then we got Big Shoddy Lee Johnson, and the next guy right after him is Lee Moriarty. Like, these guys have pretty much the same career trajectory, right? They both have slightly losing records. They look very indistinguishable, and more importantly, they both have the name Lee. So I don't know if someone is stupid or not. Maybe they think this is the same guy, but you definitely don't need both of them. Now, if you insist on having both of them, then the smart thing to do would be to just take them and make them a tag team just called the Lees. Simple as that. Or, you know what? You know what would be a good name for them? A New Lease on Life. But you spell lease like Lees, because they're the Lees, right? A new lease on life. And their gimmick is like, this is their second chance to do something with their lives. Then we got Luther, who is now like, a butler and a manager, but he fits the role, so fuck it, why not, right? Then we got Malachi Black, who's still in this company, stealing money. We got Mark Briscoe, who is the ROH World Champ. Obviously, Mark Briscoe should be pushed to the moon, but what are you going to do, right? Then we got some guy named Mark Davis. It looks like he's the other guy from Aussie Open. I could give a shit. Fire this guy, fire the other one too. We got Smart Mark Sterling. I don't care at all. Fire this guy. Mark Quinn. Obviously, we already said we're going to keep Private Party, so we're going to keep those motherfucks. Then we got Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, right? He's the better of the two, but he needs to go. Then we got Matt Seidel, who is also known as Evan Bourne, who is 0-12 this year, so what's the point, right? Then we got the ROH Tag Team Champion, Matt Taven. This entire Adam Cole thing, it's already falling apart. Like, I can already smell the Wardlow betrayal happening and Wardlow just turning on them And the problem is that Wardlow always does this. And number two, the other problem is like, what the fuck is the point, right? What the fuck is the point of Wardlow? Like, why did he join? You know what I mean? But whatever. Um, you got to get rid of Matt Taven. He's just boring, unfortunately. He was good in ROH back in the day, but not anymore. The young cuck, Matthew Jackson. I actually enjoy Matthew Jackson over Matt Jackson, so I say keep his ass. Then we got Max Caster. That's a complete and obvious, keep. Then we got Michael Nakazawa. He needs to go. Mike Bennett, also known as Never Drew a Dime. Like Mike Bennett, also known as Mike Kanellis. Him and his wife went to WWE. They had like a stupid gimmick. They didn't do anything with it, right? Then she got pregnant in real life. Mike Bennett developed like a drug addiction, which I'm not here to make fun of. That shit's serious. But it's like, basically they were hired by the company for like 5 years. And like the company got like 3 matches out of Mike Bennett. And then all they ended up doing was paying for his rehab and paying for like Maria's maternity leave. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just really unfortunate, but Mike Bennett sucks, I'm sorry to say. Then we got Miro, who despite being in this company for like 4 years, only has 35 matches. He only has 4 losses, but who cares, right? Doesn't matter, because in this company, they don't, acknowledge anything that you do. And then next one, we have Brody Lee. Mr. Brody Lee, who obviously is great. I always liked Luke Harper. In my opinion, he was better than Bray Wyatt. He's passed away, though, so it's time to move on, motherfuckers. And apparently, in his whole career, he only had 14 matches with this company. So, as far as I'm concerned, Tony Khan, like, if he's still giving money to, like, Brody Lee's wife, like, he really is, like, an angel, for doing that. Then we got -1, Mr. Brody Lee Jr., who is, like, the son of Brody Lee. And then we've got Nick Jackson. So, good for Nick Jackson. He needs to stay as well, of course. And we've got... sorry about that. I'm getting tired, motherfuckers. Nick Camarado, who apparently has shaved. I like it. Nick Camarado. I saw him at some random indie event. He deserves a spot. Then we got the prodigy Nick Wayne from the Patriarchy. If it weren't for the fact that this guy's associated with Christian, I don't think I would give a flying fuck about this guy's career at all. But he is associated with Christian, and I like Christian. So we're going to keep Nick Wayne, motherfucks. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Like, look, all right, I don't like Orange Cassidy, but I got to say it like it is. Orange Cassidy is over, and, he at least deserves a spot on this roster because he's had nearly 200 matches for this horseshit company. I think he might have the most victories and the most matches in this entire company. Then we have Ortiz, who's still in here. Mike Santana is getting a good push, I think, coming to him. And Ortiz could also benefit from a push. So fuck it, why not? Then we got the bastard Pac. Pac, somehow, he has had like 86 matches, it looks like, in AEW. But it feels like he's had about 8. He's had only 6 this year, and Pac is just great, but he's just not around long enough, right? Then we got Parker Boudreaux, who is the guy who would follow Joe Gacy around in NXT. This guy's got a good look. A lot of people are dumb, and they're like, oh, he's the next Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's like 3 times his size, but he is big enough, and he deserves something. So I say give this kid a chance, right? Next up, we have the Big Show, who is apparently 6-0 in his AEW career, is undefeated, but hasn't wrestled this year at all. Big Show is a legend, but Big Show belongs in WWE, motherfucks. Then we got Penta El Cerro Miedo, who needs to go. Like, it's just a fucking asshole. It's like a La Parka imitation. Who every match just does Cerro Miedo, and it's like, we get it, dude. You're not scared of anything, but you're just a short fat guy in a fucking weird mask, so nobody wants to see you around anymore. Then we got Pretty Peter Avalon, who apparently has cut his hair, and he actually looks like a normal dude. I like Peter Avalon. I think he's got some charm and charisma, so I'd keep him personally. We got Powerhouse Hobbs, who in my opinion is one of, if not the best guy that AEW has. And then we got Preston Vance, who's a big guy that will never achieve anything because they don't never want to put him on TV up in this mug. Then we got Prince Nana. For what he is, keep him around. I don't hate him. Rey Fenix, in my opinion, the best luchador right now after Rey Mysterio is Rey Fenix. I really like Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is crisp and smooth. Of course, you'll have the occasional botch, but he's doing like crazy ass shit, so that's allowed, right? Then we got Absolute Ricky Starks. I mean, in my opinion, he needs to get released. Like, it didn't work. You know, it's simple as that. Like, he's not that good on the mic. Like, people thought he was good on the mic, and then Edge completely buried his ass, right? He was like, you know, you're just a Rock ripoff, except you're like 1/10 of the Rock in any capacity. So beat it, Jabron. Then we got the AEW International Champ, Roderick Strong. The fact that Roderick Strong continues to have opportunity after opportunity in the wrestling world is just crazy. So I say get rid of this motherfucker. Then we got Roosh, El Toro Blanco Roosh. He sucks. Bounce. Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, who's had 4 matches this entire year, needs to go. Samoa Joe needs to go. Satnam Singh, who's that moron that follows around Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal, he needs to go. Like, what the fuck's the point of this guy? You're like 7'3". Go wrestle or something, right? Then we got Scorpio Sky is still on the roster. Like, has Scorpio Sky been getting paid from AEW this whole time? This company needs to like fix its finances. I mean, I might need to stop this video here just because I can't believe that Scorpio Sky is on the roster. Then we got Serpentico, who is like one of the biggest jobbers in AEW. But, you know, I say fire him because you don't really need him. And Dralistico, you know what I'm saying? Do you really need both? You don't. Then we got Captain Sean Dean. I don't know who that is, so fire him. Sanjay Dutt doesn't wrestle anymore, so he can go. Like, he doesn't add anything. Then we got Sting. Sting had a perfect record of 29-0 in AEW. Sting rules, motherfucks. Stokely Hathaway, he's just not a good manager. Like, the fact that this guy has been made a manager and he had a stint in WWE managing a bunch of jobbers that are now all fired is just ridiculous. I don't understand how this is even possible, but here we are. And we got Stu Grayson is back, apparently. Like, Stu Grayson is just one of the worst. Swerve Strickland, I mean, I will say that since he's been there, he wrestles a lot. So you got to give him credit for that. He's their champ, so obviously he can't go. Then we got the Blade from the Butcher and the Blade. These guys just aren't around as much. So, you know, they got to go. I'm sorry. Like, I actually think that Butcher and the Blade have, like, some potential as a tag team. But it is what it is. They didn't do anything with them. You know what I'm saying? We got someone called Toa Leona. I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. Bury him and release him immediately. The premier athlete, Tony Nese, sucks. Bury him and release him immediately. Trent Beretta, I mean, he's one of the workhorses of this company. So I feel bad releasing him. But, I mean, it's not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Vincent from The Righteous. I think I've seen this guy in ROH. Like, I think this is both the ROH roster and the other roster, you know. That's the only thing that makes sense because it's like Scorpio Sky. Like, I think he's in ROH because, you know, I don't watch ROH and I don't see him in AEW, so there you have it, cucks. Then we got Mr. Mayhem, Wardlow. You know, in my opinion, Wardlow needs to get released. I'm sorry. That's just how it needs to be. He sucks now. Honestly, like, this short-haired Wardlow, in his picture, he's trying to do like a tough guy face. And he's got his mouth open, like in that soy boy cuck pose. And I can't help but look at him as a fucking loser. You know what I mean? Like, they've booked him. I'm sure the guy that plays Wardlow is a great guy, and I'm sure he's like, fuck, I can't believe I'm the lackey once again. But the character of Wardlow is just a loser. Like, imagine if Wardlow was a real person. You'd be like, this guy's a complete retard. Like, he just continues to be like the lackey of lesser wrestlers. Like, if you're gonna be the lackey of MJF, at least you're one of two. Like, MJF is the number one, you're the number two. If you're the lackey of Adam Cole, who's a fucking cripple in a chair, kayfabe wise, Adam Cole is like in a fucking wheelchair and he's giving orders to Wardlow. Like, why doesn't Wardlow just at some point turn around, just do short arm clotheslines to everyone in that jobber faction and put them all through tables? Wardlow deserves better, but he hasn't gotten better. And in my opinion, the character is beyond repair. Then we've got Wheeler Yuta, who is the ROH Pure Champion. Nobody cares at all. He needs to go. Then we got Will Ospreay of the Don Callis family. Now, you can say what you want to say, but the facts are what the facts are. Will Ospreay, for better or worse, I mean, this guy, like, I'll say it like it is, motherfucks. Will Ospreay is a good wrestler in terms of the fact that, like, jokes aside, right? He is an interesting guy because he's extremely athletic. He has like ricochet levels of athleticism, but he's big and strong. Like he can lift people and do like suplexes and shit like that. So, with that being said, I'm gonna have to say you gotta keep Big Will. You know what I'm saying? Big Will Ospreay. He needs to stay. I like the motherfucker. He's young. He's got his future ahead of him. For better or for worse. I know he's not a draw yet, but AEW can really, build a company around him, right? You can have him and Daniel Bryan, let's say, right? And if they have like these great matches all the time, then maybe AEW can get like a consistent 1 million viewers or something, become like the next ROH. I think that's like the way that you use fucking what's his face, uh, Will Ospreay, right? It's it's really that simple. I mean, I don't really see a scenario where we really give a flying fuck, but you know, if there's anyone that could make it work, it's gonna be good old motherfucker Will Ospreay. You know what I'm saying? He's got a chance, so give it to him. Fuck it. But enough about that cuck. Let's talk about the women's roster. Holy fuck, this is a long list. I'm tired of shit. Maybe I'll probably like re-record this video. Maybe I'll post this one too, and I'll just do another one. And a few months later, cucks. Women's roster, Abaddon. Abaddon is interesting. She's got a good gimmick, but she needs to be on TV. So as a result, last time she got away with a keep. This time, not so lucky. Fire this bitch. Anna Jay, get the fuck out of here. Anna Jay's boring. She brings nothing to the table. Athena, who is the ROH Women's World Champion, why the hell not, right? She's athletic. She's got a good finisher. I don't see why we wouldn't keep Athena, also known as Ember Moon. Britt Baker hasn't wrestled this year, so in my opinion, Britt Baker needs to go. It's as simple as that. If you don't bring any money in, you shouldn't be taking any money out. The virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, I don't see anything special about her. People keep saying how great this girl is. I don't see it at all. Then we've got Diamante, who also is a jobber. Emi Sakura is still around in this company. So thus far, all these women except for Athena need to be released. Harley Cameron, I have no fucking idea who that is. Hikaru Shida looks like she's from the future now, so I don't like that either. Jamie Hayter, she stole my name so she can go fuck herself. Then we got Julia Hart from the House of Black. She's trying, motherfuckers. She's trying, so we're going to keep her in there. Kiera Hogan, I mean, she's just boring. Chris Statlander sucks. I will say that, or as I like to call her, the Statlander broad. I will say that, she does do good moves, for what she is. So, maybe with a different gimmick and something more serious, we'll give her a chance this time, cucks. Layla Gray, I'm not sure who that is. I think I'm confusing her with a Red Velvet. I don't give a shit. I would fire her. Then we still have legit Layla Hirsch is still in this company. Fire her immediately. Madison Rayne, motherfuckers. In my opinion, Madison Rayne is a low-key legend. So we got to keep Madison Rayne. Then we got someone named Mariah May. A lot of people seem to like her, so I say give her a chance. She looks a little bit like Tiffany Stratton. I think Mariah May is more attractive, so, why the fuck not, right? Then we got the problem, Marina Shafir, who, I don't know why this woman's even in here. Marina Shafir is, one of the biggest grifters of all time. This woman, had, let's just really quickly take a moment to look at Marina Shafir's MMA record. I think it's, complete shit. Marina Shafir, Wikipedia, cuckolds. So, Marina Shafir, Moldovan-born American professional wrestler. I think she's married to Roderick Strong. And her record is 1-2. So, big fucking deal. The idea that she's, some sort of, actual fighter is absurd. She literally just beat one woman. She's had some amateur record. She's done well in the amateurs, but who gives a shit? In her pro fight, she's beaten one woman. So, it's there's no reason why she would win against Mercedes Martinez, who, for example, I think should be kept. I like Mercedes Martinez. The CEO, Mercedes Monet. Well, we only need one Mercedes. I think Mercedes Martinez is better. Mercedes Monet, I don't like her. She sucks. She's boring. She's just here for a paycheck. She can go fuck herself. Mother Wayne of the patriarchy. Mother Wayne is now a roster member. This is ridiculous. This is fucking stupid as shit. What's next? Maybe Luchasaurus' Mask can be a roster member. Mother Wayne is a roster member. Nyla Rose, Nyla Rose is like I think the first transgender wrestler to like basically wrestle on TV, so that's kind of important. I don't know. I'd say keep Nyla Rose because like for better or for worse that is a demographic. But the truth is, at the end of the day, she hasn't been around for like 2 years, so who gives a fuck? Then we got Paige Van Zandt. Fire her. She does never. I don't think she's ever had like any contribution to this company. Then we got Penelope Ford, who is like very attractive. So I say you keep her. There's someone called Queen Aminata. Okay, just I mean, if she has like some sort of like Egyptian type gimmick, because she looks to be wearing some Egyptian iconography here, maybe I'm losing my mind. Then keep her because gimmicks are good. But if she's not, go fuck yourself. Rebel needs to go. Rebel looks like this girl that I know. It's kind of weird. Red Velvet. Red Velvet is an attractive girl, but like the problem with Red Velvet is like, you know, her fucking name is Red Velvet, and she's built from straight out of your mama's kitchen, so it's like nobody can ever take her seriously. So Red Velvet, I hope she gets a shot at WWE, but I don't think she will because she's kind of small and they already got enough women to be honest. It's like they don't need any more. But they always keep getting them. Then we've got Riho. Riho is like an AEW original, but she sucks, so she needs to go. Then we've got Ruby Soho, who was supposed to be like this big deal in AEW, and now she doesn't even wrestle anymore. Then we've got Saraya from the Outcasts, who has had 18 matches since she came back, winning 9 and losing 9. Saraya, for those that don't know, is just Paige. Saraya has always sucked. That's right, you heard it here first. I never understood why people were obsessed with Paige. Paige was not a good wrestler. In my opinion, Paige is not that attractive. Normally, like, I like that look, but she's just weird looking. She's got a weird thing. Maybe it's because, like, she's just annoying in real life, right? She's just like, I can never forget the fact that I saw this bitch in, like, Tough Enough, and she was like, what, you don't think I'm legit? No, you're not fucking legit. No, you're not fucking legit. Like 95% of the women that I know would beat the shit out of Saraya. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course she's not legit. She's that tiny little girl. She's like, she can't beat up anybody. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, oh, I'm not legit. No, you're not legit. Like, cause it was like Sonya Deville was like, I have an MMA background, so I think like that makes me more legit. She's like, you don't think I'm legit? No, you're not legit. Like, you're not. Sonya Deville would beat the shit out of her. But anyways, Saraya is just a fucking parasite in my opinion. She's come to this company and all she's done is take money. She hasn't drawn a dime. Remember when Saraya was supposed to like change the way that women's wrestling was going to operate in AEW? She did fucking nothing. She's 9-9. So kiss my ass, bitches. Then we've got Serena Deeb. I like Serena Deeb, but I'm bored by her, motherfucker, so she needs to go. Sky Blue. Okay, I finally put a face to the name Sky Blue. I have no idea what the fuck Sky Blue is. And for that alone, I say we got to fire her ass. Tainara Mello, Tay Mello. I think she's on maternity leave, but she needs to go. I mean, there's nothing interesting about her. She's just not another fucking Sammy Guevara's wife. I could give a shit. Then we've got Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie, there's a certain charm to her, so I like her, but I mean, whatever. I don't give a shit, right? Thunder Rosa, she needs to go. Tony Storm, all right. Like, I think the gimmick is overplayed, but at the end of the day, it is a gimmick, and Tony Storm is doing what she can with it. So I like that. Then we got Willow Nightingale, which I think we keep her for some diversity. Now, not racial diversity, you racist fucks, but body diversity, right? One of my favorite female wrestlers of all time, and in no way am I saying that Willow Nightingale can be compared to her, is Awesome Kong, right? But you need like a few Awesome Kongs in your roster, and Willow Nightingale is like the one that fits that the most, right? She's the biggest that you can get without being Awesome Kong. So I say keep Willow Nightingale. That's kind of nice. And then we have the magical girl Yuka Sakazaki, who has had 22 matches and about 21 returns to this company. Every fucking match this broad has is a return. Then we got the broadcast team, which apparently is like 100 people. Fuck, man. There's so many other people to talk about. We might as well just, power through this and finish this video and, wrap it up like that. Alex Abrahantes, I don't give a shit. Alex Marvis, don't know who the fuck these people are. Let's get to the ones that we know. Dasha Gonzalez is in this company. What the fuck? Okay, Excalibur. For all things considered, Excalibur is good at his job, so I like Excalibur. Taz, we got to keep him. Justin Roberts, we got to keep him. Jim Ross, we got to get rid of him. He's never around, so fuck him. Then we've got Mark Henry, who, like, the correct thing for Mark Henry is to go and be the fucking, what's it called? The manager of Powerhouse Hobbs. Then we got the referees. I don't recognize any of these jobbers. The only one I recognize is fucking Rick Knox. I think Mike Posey sounds like a known name. And then coaches. There's 4 coaches. In other words, 4 people that get paid for nothing. Someone named Sarah Stock. Is Sarah Stock Sarita? That could be her. It could be her. She looks kind of like her. Pat Buck, Jerry Lynn, and Arn Anderson. As far as I'm concerned, fire everybody here. Obviously, you got to keep some referees, but none of them are good enough. And with that motherfucker, somehow I got through it. It's like 2 a.m. right now. 40-minute video up in this bitch. This better get some views. You better fucking like and subscribe, cucks. That being said, take care of yourselves up in this bitch.